morning, everyone. Hi, how's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday morning? Welcome to Tuesday Tools. I'm Sandy Pincushion today, so I'm just here to talk to you about a few wonderful things on our Facebook and YouTube show at my sewing room. And we are live today on both Facebook and YouTube, and I'm so happy that people can join me today and view some of the wonderful things. I see Ruth has signed in. Good morning, Ruth. Just lovely to have you guys with me. Just want to thank you as well. Likes, loves, sharing, comments, all of those things are very appreciated, and it's great because that's how I get my shout outs, so that people who comment and whatnot, I know who to say hi to. Anyways, good morning. And wanted to just remind you that there will be some program changes coming up in April. And I just want to say that now. Next week there'll be some changes. The week after, some changes. One of the changes is that I will be away next week. I won't be here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm not sure if anybody else will be stepping up and doing something in that time period. If not, then I will be back the following week. But just some program changes. Also trying to get people, if it's possible, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And of course, you just Google YouTube, click on it, select it, become a person of interest on there, and then look for us at mysewingroom.ca, DOTCA, and you'll find us. Subscribe. Jessie was telling me about a cute little bell that's on there, which is notifications. So if you hit notifications, you will get a notification when we go live. So that might help too during our transition to different programming in the next couple of weeks. Anyways, just wonderful that you are able to join me today for Tuesday Tools. All right, want to do a little shout out today, of course, to some of our listeners. First off, saying hi to Helen O, Teresa W, Ruth, who's on today, Michelle G, Tina B, Sandy A, Loanne F, Deborah A, who was the one that wanted to talk about the Bernina cases. So I showed them yesterday on Facebook and YouTube. They are out front and they're part of our rummage sale that's ongoing. Hi to Vivian, to Jean J. Jean stepped in yesterday. She's feeling much better, so we're hoping to see her more and more again. Want to say hi and a thank you to Irene T, who also stopped in yesterday, and thank you for your words of encouragement. They were very thoughtful. Thank you. Also shouting out to our Nancy C in Saskatchewan, Ann S in Ontario, Annette W, Vicky S. Good morning, Glenda. Hi, Glenda. Shout out to our Glenda as well. Ann L, Val S, Peggy Ann, saw Peggy yesterday too, Carol D, and Mary Zed. One other person I'd like to say a special hello to, and that's Joanne D. She joined us last week for the apron show, where I was showing off the lavender lemonade apron panel. She was very happy with all the different apron selections, and she came in and she reminded me of this one. I'd forgotten all about the Lily apron. The sample is on a mannequin, a womakin out front, and her patterns are in the pocket. And this is a really sweet apron, and we've had many times requests for this one. So the pattern is there in the pocket, and she really liked the Lily apron. So fantastic. Thank you, viewers. Other thing is that Betty just wanted to remind everybody, if you don't have your customer appreciation card, please let us know. When you come into the store, let us know, because we have Tyler who does the printing for us. Usually takes about a week. So if you're in before the to Saturday, like Sunday to Saturday. He will print them up on the Monday, so we'll have them for the following Monday. So if you don't have your customer appreciation card, by all means, please ask for it when you come in. We have a whole bunch, and Miss Betty has been very happily phoning people to get them to come and get their appreciation cards. So we have some, and if you don't have one, we'll get one from Tyler for you. So that's important, because those customer appreciation cards, of course, every time you buy something regularly priced in the store or online, it goes into your little piggy bank. When you hit $285, then it will pop up on our screen when you come into the store, and it'll say, oh, you've got a store credit. And then what we do is use that little card with your name on it, and we scan. It's like a gift card. We scan the money directly onto the card, and then you can use that card for future purchases. Boy, that was a really good one. Future purchases, and you can have money to spend. So it's just for regular priced items. It doesn't include, I'm sorry, machines or cabinets or anything like that, but anything that you buy regular price in the store gets you 4% back. All right, and that then just on your card when you bring it in. All right, so that's the appreciation cards, and I'm hoping that everybody has one and is willing to use it and give it a try. All right, I see that Nancy C has joined us this morning as well. Good morning. Good morning. All right, so that is our shout outs for today and our little updates on aprons and customer appreciation cards and things. So let us move on. I had a town hall meeting. On Tuesdays we do town hall, and we all gather for 15 minutes and go over what's happening this week in the store, what we need to focus on, that kind of stuff. And then I always have a joke at the end. That way, you know, I send them all off to their respective jobs and things they need to do with a good groan or an eye roll. So this morning it was, what did the raindrop say to his friends? Two's company, but three's a cloud. I know. That's how they went off to work this morning too. I just want to say that we will be in for a little bit of rainy, snowy weather, I believe, coming up on Thursday. So I'm sorry, but all my jokes are really bad weather jokes this week. So what goes up when the rain comes down? Umbrellas. So I hope you have your umbrella handy, and that you may need it. Also might need that shovel later on this week as well, because of things that are happening. All right, so today, of course, is Tuesday Tools, and I have a few things to share with you. First off, if you remember a little back a ways, Chelsea and I did a show called Measure Twice, Cut Once, on cutting things. So rulers, mats, rotary cutters, demonstrated how to cut using, you know, making sure that they're pressed nice and well with Mary Ellen's Best Press and stuff. I had a comment yesterday. A lady phoned and says, well, when do you wash your fabric? Now, there's two camps. One camp says you wash everything, all of it, before you start. Or you don't wash any of it before you start. So I'm of the camp we don't wash anything before we start, and I have only one exception. If I'm making a cotton top, but I'm using a flannel background, like a backing for it, I will wash my flannel before I put it on the quilt, because the flannel does shrink at a slightly different rate than the regular quilting cottons, which will only shrink a little. So that is my one exception to my rule about washing things. My idea then afterwards would be that you would wash your quilt, and we have some products like die catchers, other things that you put into your wash when you wash the quilt the first time to absorb any of the excess dyes. people who are going to wash, there are things like retain that, or vinegar and water, salt and water, wash it once, iron it, put your starch back into it by using your Mary Ellen's Best Press or flatter to get it nice and flat again, and hold those cuts when you do your cutting. So that's kind of where I'm at, but it's really up to you if you want to wash your fabric first or not till after. The only thing I don't want you to ever wash is your batting out of the package or off the roll before you get it in the quilt, because it just into massive fuzz balls and it's no good. So never wash your batting before you finish your quilt. All right, that's my tips on that part. But okay, so you know how to cut, you know what to do with your fabric. Now you're going to quilt. What do you need? What quilting tools do you need? Well, of course, the very first thing we're going to use is what we call a 1/4 inch piecing foot. We supply both Brother and Bernina here. This is a Brother one. I got this from the service bay. That's why it's got little red X's on it. That's why, so we can't steal it and take it home with us. But this is a 1/4 inch. And the one thing about the Brother ones are really cool is that there is the 1/4 inch, but also an 1/8 inch. So it's kind of a dual purpose. It's quite a nice foot. So that's a 1/4 inch foot for Brother. Brother also has a 1/4 inch foot, but it has a guide on it. So it has a little line on it, a little arm that will help you guide your fabric. So it really depends on what you get used to, whether you want to just use the edge of the foot or if you want to use the guide. But they have two. They have the one 1/4 inch piecing foot and 1/4 inch piecing foot with guide. So Brother does have that, which is very important because our stitching in quilting is usually a 1/4 inch on our seams. Some people will do a 1/4 inch scant, but it just depends on how accurate. I have to take my hat off, it's falling down. Accurate you are at sewing. Now Brother also, or Bernina also has a 1/4 inch foot. This is the one that I use all the time. It's a 37 and it has the 1/4 inch on either side, and its markings 1/4 from where the needle goes down to the front of this is a 1/4 inch, and then another 1/4 inch to the tip of the foot. So when I'm quilting, I can get to the edge of a seam when I'm doing things to turn. I know where the 1/4 inch is. So they have a 37 for Bernina, 1/4 inch piecing foot. Now, not to be outdone, Bernina, of course, has 500 more of them. So now they also have a 37D, which is, D is for dual feed. This is for the larger Bernina machines. They're coated and they have a split in the back where the little finger comes down, the dual feed finger. So, which is kind of handy because when you're doing really long seams, that little finger that comes down and helps pull the fabric along with your feed dogs, so they come out, the seams come out nice and even. So there is a D foot as well, 37D. Now the difference is that one is for a 9mm machine, the other is for the regular 5.5 mil. And of course I have a 5.5, so that's what I use. So those are the two differences with the regular 1/4 inch piecing foot for Bernina. We also have a 57 and a 57D. So like Brother, Bernina also has one that has the guide on the side. So if you like it, you can use that as a guide for your fabric. It also comes in the 57D. So 5 mil for 57, 9 mil for the D size with the dual feed. So they have two. Okay, so not to be outdone. Here we go. They also make, for the larger 8 series machines and now the 9 series, they have a number 97. And this foot is a 1/4 inch piecing foot. but it also comes with a guide. So guide with a screwdriver and a screw, and you can screw this on the top of your machine and butt it right up, so it provides you with the guide on the 1/4-inch foot, because you'll see the 1/4-inch foot is very thin, but there it is, a 1/4-inch. All right, so that's for the 9 mils as well, the 97. And then if you have dual feed on your 9 mil, of course they've made you a 97D foot with all of the components, same as this one, with a guide, screwdriver, a little screw, but you also have your dual feed part. All right. Well, yo, Adrian. All I can say is yo, Adrian, the Bernina team. Go, Bernina team. All right. So now they also, I think I talked to you about the 57Ds. Okay. So that's what you use to do your piecing, your 1/4-inch seams on all of your blocks. Now, let's have a joke. Okay, everybody. What kind of bow can't be tied or untied? I think I'll come and talk to you. What kind of bow can't be tied or untied? How about a rainbow? I have another one for you. What animal runs the fastest during spring storms? Cheetah, because they move at lightning speed. All right, enough of that, right? Okay, let's go back to our feet. All right, so we've managed to do our 1/4-inch piecing, either Brother or Bernina, many different ways. Now, how do you finish your quilt? Well, let's see. You could do straight stitch in the ditch. And of course, for that kind of quilting, your walking foot is really important. So Brother and Bernina both have walking feet. They have the regular walking foot. It comes with a little arm that goes over your needle bar, and then it has little feed dogs at the bottom, so it helps pull as your feed dogs pull at the bottom, so everything stays together, because you think what you're doing is sewing through 3 layers usually, your quilt top, your backing, and your batting. So you've got 3 layers, so you need something that will grip it and pull it together. So there is the walking foot for Brother. Brother also came up with a dynamic walking foot set, which is kind of cool. It actually does a really cool reverse. You have to be careful. It's a wider foot. It's more for a 9 mil machine, but it comes with some other feet that you can attach. So not just a regular foot edge. They have an open edge, and they have a guide, one with a center guide. So let me have a look at this one. This is mine, because when I went to look for Brother walking feet, there weren't any in the cupboard. So I brought you mine. Now mine is an older one. It is still good for the newer machines. It's just that when I bought it, it only came with one other foot, and that was the open toe foot. So this is it. Of course, there's the arm that goes over your needle bar. It hooks into Bernina like usual. So you got that over your bar, hook it in, the little silver arm attaches, and then away we go. And you can see the little feed dogs here. They pull on the fabric as the ones underneath pull, so everything stays nice and stationary. This one, really cool, comes with guides. So we can attach the guide either left or right. Okay, that's the right guide. Put it on the other side. And what happens is you can do straight line quilting. So if you put one line of quilting down, set the guide on that line, then you can quilt exactly whatever distance you would prefer, 1 inch, 2 inches, whatever you'd like, and you can quilt long lines of stitching. All right, so when Bernina came out with a new attachment, which was the center guide foot, of course, I had to go buy a center guide because my machine did not come with it, the little box, but now the new ones do. So this is your 3rd foot. It is the edge foot. It has that little edge guide on it, so you can do in the stitch in the ditch, no problem. And these soles are all interchangeable. You can take them on and off, whatever you'd like. So the reason mine looks different, of course, than the new one is because that was what was available when I purchased my Bernina. So that's it. But then they made us, luckily, that nice G foot, they call it, for the extra little things. There you go. So that's the number G. All right, so that's the walking foot, and that is a really good, and it's not only just for quilting, but it is also for doing any kind of long hems or stitches where you want everything to end up being the same. So that's that. Now, if you want to get creative, oh my goodness, here's where fun starts. You can then use what we call our quilting foot. And then you can do free motion quilting, you can do quilt painting, you can follow a pattern if you've traced it onto your fabric. It's really cool. In this case, you would drop your feed dogs, you don't do that with your walking foot, but you drop your feed dogs so that you could move your fabric smoothly over your machine and do your quilting. So yes, free motion quilting. So Brother has a foot for that as well. Now, Bernina, not to be outdone, oh my goodness, they have the number 15 with an oval foot opening. They have the number 24 with an open C. And of course, they have the 26, which is kind of like your embroidery foot. It's just got the little drop, the little raindrop looking foot. Now these ones are all regular quilt free motion feet. The other one that I have used on occasion is my number 9 when I can't find my quilting foot, my 26, because the number 9, it has got a spring in it too. It's your mending foot. So anyways, any of these feet will work. Now if you've got a C machine, coated or whatever, you can also have a coated foot. That means that the machine will recognize your foot. It has a crystal in it. It has a nice clear opening. We also have the 29 for regular, not coated feet, the same ones. It's got that clear opening. Nice and clear. Okay. So any of those will work as well. They say quilting foot, you could use your embroidery foot, anything that has that little spring action. You drop the feed dogs and away you go. The other one I like, not that I don't like any of these others, but like number C has that open toe look. If you've got appliques or you've put special things, embellishments or whatnot on your quilt and you just don't want to pick them, because I always think that edge might just pick it up. We have also the number 74, which is a saucer dish, and it's a glide cup foot. Ooh. So it glides over things, so it won't pick it up. It won't disturb what you got there. It's also great for echo quilting if you're going to quilt around a design. So there's the number 74. Okay, still keeping going. Here's the number 73, which is an adjustable stipple foot. And you can see it's got a big wide C. So if you're doing stippling and just doing the it's really good. You can see where you're going. So those are some of the free motion feet that Bernina has. All right. All right. Time for another joke. Here we go, back again. Are you ready? So how can you tell the weather's warming up? Because there's a spring in people's walk or step. All right. One more really bad joke. Are you ready? What do you call a deer who enjoys playing in the rain? A reindeer. I know. They say, oh my goodness. All right, back to our feet. All right, so now we have pieced our top. We have done some free motion quilting. We've done some straight stitching with your walking foot. Okay, who's excited? Who wants to try out ruler work? All right, so Brother has made a ruler feet. You'll notice that the bottom of the foot is quite thick, and that's so that the ruler will butt up against it, not slide underneath and break your needle. So if you're going to do ruler work, you need a ruler foot. Now, our Brother has two different feet. One for a low shank, that means that the screw attaches to the ankle really low down, or really tall like the high shank. So they do have ruler feet, so that's the brother ones. Bernina has a ruler foot as well. It is the number 72. And now we can have a really good close look at it, see how thick that foot is. Because that's, if you're using a ruler, it needs to butt up against it. I grabbed some of the Handy Quilter rulers, so let's have a look. There are lots of different rulers on the market, but make sure you get ones that are really thick. And the reason I say that is that you don't want them sliding underneath your machine. If it's too narrow, it will just poop underneath. Your stitch needle comes down and you break it. These have to be good and solid up against it. We hold Handy Quilter rulers, but Bernina also makes rulers as well. Those are the two that we carry. So you'll see that it's thick just like the foot, and this is really cool. So it takes a little practice to do ruler work. I remember doing a session with Adrian from Bernina and realizing afterwards, when I tried to make a circle, it looked quite a bit like a lemon. So I understand the need for it to be practiced. So, you know, don't expect that the first time around you're going to get it 100%, but with practice you can make it look beautiful. All right, so now Bernina has two different feet. They have the 72 and the 72S. S just has a little slit in the side so that you can make sure the thread comes out when you get started. So it's got a little slit right there. I don't know if you can see my slit. Right there. You can just see the opening right there. So that just accommodates the thread. All right, so those are the feet. Now, of course, right now, brother feet are regular price, but Bernina feet, all of the Bernina feet, Bernina or Burnett feet, are this month on 20% off as the accessory of the month, and that holds until the end of March 31st, which is next Monday. So if you need to get one of these feet or get a walking foot, I know the walking feet aren't in stock right now, but we can order it for you, and if you pay for it, you still get the great price. Okay? All right, so that's, I just wanted to mention, foot of the accessory of the month for Bernina for March is any foot, Bernina or Burnett. So keep that in mind. All right. And I was talking about rulers. Well, rulers come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Ditch rulers, the Versatool, which gives you circles, gives you triangles, gives you ovals, gives you straight lines. The pillbox template, so you can go around in ovals, you can do straight lines. And then, of course, they have circles and ovals available. And so you can do any size and usually have 2 or 3 templates to use. So those are Handy Quilters. I'm sorry I don't have any of the Bernina rulers to show right now, but those are rulers you can use. All right, other tools that you need for quilting. I won't keep you too much longer, but I want to mention something which I use all the time. And that's my Dritz cone thread holder. And when it says cone thread holder, it doesn't mean that I'm going to use serger thread in my machine. But some of these spools are a little bit bigger than others. You can get Isacord that are really big, and you just want to make sure you've got something to hold them on. This is really good as well for metallic threads if you're going to do some decorating on your quilt. Metallic thread has a memory, so you want to kind of feed it so that it unwraps so it doesn't twist and knot in your machine. So a cone holder, I say that to anybody, and it doesn't matter if you're using smaller threads, bigger threads, cone threads. If you have this and run it off the side of the machine, it works beautifully. And when I'm doing Facebook demos and stuff, I always use the cone. Some of the machines, the newer machines, have got thread holders that have got several thread holders and a setup similar to this. But for us who don't have that, this is the answer. This one is the Dritz cone thread holder. They're marvelous, marvelous. And we always have this one in our classroom. All right, last little tip before I leave you. And some of you may have already been through the Wonderfill lineup of thread classes. One of them they talked about, of course, was the Athena, which is our new 60 weight cotton thread, Egyptian cotton. It's called Athena. It comes in 60 weight. It's about 1,500 yards. Sure what that is in meters. We'll figure that out. Anyways, but it is the new piecing thread, because we are right now rummage sailing off all of our Percentia thread, and you can still get it. It's still wonderful. We've got 60 weight and 50 weight. They are 30% off, but we're replacing all of them with the new Wonderfill Athena thread for 60 weight. For 50 weight, they have the confetti, which is absolutely beautiful. These are threads. These Athena 60 weight are good for your piecing because they're thinner. You don't lose as much in the turn on your seams. This 50 weight cotton is great for when you're doing your top and you're doing straight stitching or free motion stitching. 50 weight is really good for your top when you're quilting your top with your bottom. One other one that they mentioned, which Chelsea found absolutely fascinating, was the Invisifill. I know it's not a cotton thread, so here's where the purists change up things. So you could do cotton with cotton, or because we do a lot of embroidery, we do a lot of decorative stitches to our quilts, we can use poly. And I like poly. It's a little stronger. And it comes in so many beautiful colors. And this one, which is Invisifill, is very fine. And it is 100 weight. And you get a lot, 2,500 meters on a spool. It's wonderful. If you want to see the stitching pattern and not the thread color, these blend in beautifully with your quilt, whether it's the front or the back. The other one, which I did not bring, was Isacord. We use a lot of Isacord in our long arm quilting, so it's an option. All right, so what do you do if you decide you don't want to do the quilting? Well, I have an option for you, and that is Quilts by Kyle. Now, I've had several quilts that I brought into the store and I've had Kyle do the long arming for, and they are beautiful. So Kyle will help you when you bring your quilt in to have it long armed, helps you measure it, helps you pick out your thread colors, helps you pick your design, and then he does a most beautiful job of quilting, and it is quite reasonable. 4 cents a square inch for an all over pattern, and it's beautiful. Now, so Kyle will do the quilting for you. Now, if you decide that you would like to have it basted, we actually will baste the quilt for you as well. If you want to do your quilting at home, just don't have a big enough space to have it basted, or if you're doing hand stitching, basting is an option as well. So we do have a basting service as well. If you need it to be bound and put your binding on, Dawn will do that for you as well. So we have a service for that as well. So each part, as I talk about these things, is a different price. Basting is a different price, quilting is a different price, and binding is a different price. So we do offer all those services. They all just have a price to them. But I want to say that they do an absolutely beautiful job. All right, so that's kind of where I go sometimes. I have done some of my own, but I just really like the way that the long arm does it, and it just looks really good when we're done. All right, so that's all about quilting tools and how to get it pieced and how to do your finishing stitching. If you need it quilted, we've got that service. All right. Okay, everybody, let's look forward to tomorrow. Oh, gotta put my hat back on. Tomorrow on Wacky Wednesday, we are going to spring into action. So join me tomorrow at 10:30 for that. On Thursday, for tips and tricks Thursday, we're going to do a card trick. Come on, see how that works. All right. Just for anybody who is interested, we do have social sewing running all this week. So today is Tuesday, so we have a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then on Saturday, we have the beginning of the Satin Stitch for Beginners class on Saturday. If you're enrolled, we open at 10. Class starts at 10:30. If you need any information, let us know. Give us a call at the store, 403-252-3711. In person is full. Virtual is available if you wish, and Anne will be teaching that. All right, so I mentioned that we have a rummage sale going on. So of course we have lots of items right at the very front of the store, 50% off, and we add new items as we go, but have a good look at that. Some of it's really good. The other thing we have going on right now, of course, our new look patterns are 50% off. That's $8 a pattern till they're gone. And I mentioned earlier that Percentia thread was on 30% off until it's gone. And this is the last week of our quilting cotton sale. So from now until next Monday the 31st, our regular priced cotton fabrics that are in stock, in store, a minimum cut of 0.5 are 20% off. If you end up finishing the bolt, it's 25% off. So keep that in mind. All right, and of course, also in the last week of the Brother Craft Your Way with Brother sale. So right up until March 31st, next Monday, you can get a print Moda, a sublimation printer, and a scan and cut at great prices. So keep that in mind. This is the last week of all of our happenings. Monday, we change over to bunch of new sales, which is exciting. So on Monday Minute next week, I will let you know what's going forward through April. All right. Excellent. All right. Don't forget that Bernina also has a Spring Into Savings event going on from now till the end of April. So if you need an overlocker, if you need some sewing machines, or if you need a Burnett series or an academy, all of those have gifts with purchase or a free tote. So something to keep in mind if you have some sewers that need to have a machine. That's awesome. All right, I've told you all my jokes. I told you everything I know about quilting tools. So I'm hoping that you found it interesting and have some good thoughts about finishing your quilts, how to make your quilts. Tomorrow we're going to talk about some spring things, and Thursday, of course, we're going to make a new block called Card Trick. So please join me. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. We